What up? It's your boy Random Reese. Hitting you to another hot take today. Today we are talking about Jay-Z and the NFL. Jay-Z just signed his mega deal. We don't know how much money it is, but I'm pretty sure it's a substantial amount if it's Jay-Z involved. Remember, he's the first hip hop billionaire, and he trying to make more. That's one thing about guys in his position. You think they're going to slow down and not try to make any much money, just take off and just chill. But guys like him, they these A-type personalities, they want to keep going. They want to keep making money, keep making moves, whether it's for them or for helping out other people. People think that, oh, you got so much money now, you could just chill, and just relax. Nah, he probably want to be a multi-billionaire now. He got to one, now he try to get to 5 and 10 and maybe 20, and that he want that lifetime, that legacy wealth that he could leave down to his great grandkids, not just his kid, not to Blue Ivy, and you know what I mean. He want to leave it to their kids and the kids down the line, and he want to leave a legacy where after he's gone, it's like, damn, this motherfucker still got buildings and streets and stuff named after him. And I can't blame that. I'm not in that position, but I can't knock him for that. But signing with the NFL, a lot of people got some shit to say about that. Me personally, I think is a good move. People say, "Oh, what about Kaepernick? Kaepernick's still not signed. Kaepernick's still not signed." But I look at it like this. I watched this show called Blackish. I mean, not Blackish, the spinoff, the college show, Grownish, with the daughter Zoe. And the last episode, second to last episode, Joey Badass, he's a rapper out of New York. He was on there, and her boyfriend was like, "Oh, I'm trying to meet him. I'm trying to collab with him. I'm trying to hopefully get a job with him." So things didn't go right, go how it worked out with him when he tried to meet him. And then, long story short, Zoe wanted to get a job with Joey Badass, and first she turned it down, and then she went back to him, and he was like, "Well, look, I turned it down because I was scared because my boyfriend wanted this job." He said, "Well, I didn't offer it to your boyfriend. I'm offering this job to you. This job not his to have." You know what I mean? So she's like, "Well, look at it that way. Then if I turn it down, he's not going to get it. I'm not going to get it. So I might as well take it." Turning this back to Jay-Z, Colin Kaepernick wasn't getting signed by the NFL. Like, believe it or not, he wasn't getting signed this year. He's not in training camp. He wasn't getting signed from the NFL. So Jay-Z could have kept boycotting the NFL on his own, saying no to the NFL halftime shows and everything like that. Or he could have signed a deal and make some money off the NFL, then get in there, network, now open up some eyes and do some other collabs with them as far as producing content, doing some other things that can elevate the black culture and the NFL in a positive light. So if you look at it, like he said no to the NFL a couple times. He even said it in his line. I said no to the Super Bowl, but now he's collabing with them, so he can work with them inside and create change from the inside. So I don't have a problem with that. I mean, yes, it's sad that Colin Kaepernick can't get a job, but Jay-Z even said it in the press conference. Either we harp on Colin Kaepernick still not having a job, or I can collab with the NFL and help millions and bring millions of attention to the problems in our society and hopefully make some change. So what's wrong with that? Like, you know what I mean? What's wrong with that? People say, "Oh no, what's wrong with that?" Honestly, you know, is the NFL using this to create a better image for themselves? Of course, this is a big win for the NFL. NFL gets the most popular icon in hip hop history who has the most influence in our culture on their side. So now all the people who said no before, like Rihanna and Cardi, now they can get some of those acts into the fold and say, okay, I'm willing to work with the NFL. All the people who are boycotting could say, well, Jay-Z signed with the NFL. Let me end my boycott. I want to watch some football now. Now I think that most of the people who did boycott were probably like fringe NFL fans. Some, not many hardcore fans boycotting. I damn sure wasn't boycotting. I mean, sorry, Cap. Like I was supporting you. I like the stance that you took. It was a bold move, but at the same time, I wasn't going to boycott the NFL. You got his friends that still play in the NFL not boycotting the NFL. That's money they turning down. That's lifetime money they can never earn again that they turning down. And on top of that, Kaepernick did get his money through that lawsuit. So he made more money in that lawsuit than he did playing that he would have made playing for the NFL. Believe that. He made way more money than he would have played because he was a backup quarterback. When he started nailing, he was a backup quarterback on his last year of a contract. And he might not have seen a big contract, especially like that. A backup quarterback expect like 7 to 10 million a year. He got way more than that. So now going back to so he made a lot of money. So I don't really feel sad for Kaepernick because he made his money off the field. No, he can't play, but at the end of the day, his opportunities are going to be limited with or without the protest because after he made the Super Bowl against the Ravens, a lot of teams figured him out, and he wasn't as good the following year. It actually kept getting worse the next couple of years, and actually this last year in the league, he started out as a backup. So I'm not even sure how good of a quarterback he is. Like he's like, oh, he should be playing, and all the people that they're saying Colin Kaepernick is better than, it was just like, all right, these quarterbacks aren't that good. These are like backup quarterbacks. He wasn't like superstar quarterbacks. Like he's not better than like a top 15 quarterback or top 20 quarterback. Could he start in the league? Maybe. But like I said, it's not going to be for like one of the best teams. They're not going to be a Super Bowl contender. Now, on the flip side of that, that's part of it. So if Colin Kaepernick was a top 5 player, if he was a Super Bowl type talent, then he would have been signed. That's one thing about the NFL or NBA. They don't really care. It's about what can you do for me now. It's like a risk reward type thing. You know, I'll do this. I know it's going to have a lot of risk, but my reward is going to be here. So I'm going to do it. So with a player like Colin Kaepernick, who had these off the field issues and a lot of media attention, it's kind of like, okay, we can sign him, but our media attention is going to go all the way up here. But our level of play is maybe here. He can bring it up to here. That's not really worth it. Now, if Colin Kaepernick was, let's say he was like an Aaron Rodgers level quarterback, Tom Brady level quarterback, and he can bring us a Super Bowl and we can have a Super Bowl contending team and we can go from here to up to here and be one of the top teams in the league, then he would have got signed. Believe that. He would have got signed. That's facts. You know what I mean? Like, look at the Ray Rice situation. Ray Rice had the incident with in the elevator when he hit his girlfriend, and he never played again. And no one ever said anything. Rightfully so. He shouldn't have been hitting his girlfriend. Ray Rice was also at the end of his career. If that video doesn't come out, he would have got signed. He would have got signed with the team. He would have played a few more years in the league and probably contributed. But he was at the end of his career. So the risk reward was like, well, we could find another running back that can give us that productivity and have less of a media storm that we have to worry about. Because one thing about the NFL, they don't like those media frenzy type stuff. They control the narrative. I once interned for a PR team, and it's different working for an NFL because most PR companies, you're trying to draw PR to your team or organization without spending a lot of money, sending out press releases, doing little things like this. The NFL, people come to you. You don't have to do anything. All you're doing is controlling what you put out. So like a lot of times we would have like I interned for the Colts. So when the reporters would interview like Peyton Manning, and I'll grab a recorder and I record everything he says, and then we will put down the quotes that we wanted for some of the reporters who weren't in camp, and they were like maybe like Sports Illustrated people or ESPN people that probably like in other cities, but they could write a report based on camp and everything and just use our quotes. So our quotes would list only like the positive stuff. We wouldn't put any negative quotes in our stuff. If you're there as a reporter, then you can do whatever you want. But as a PR team, we put out what we want to put out. So that's how the NFL like to do it. They like to control what they put out. So with Colin Kaepernick and like things like people like Ray Rice, they don't want to risk so much media attention if they don't have to. Now, a guy like Kareem Hunt, he was kicked off the Chiefs. He was suspended. But actually, he was kicked off the Chiefs for a similar incident as Ray Rice. But he was in his first or second year, a lot of upside, and he got a lot more talent to go. Like he hasn't even reached his peak. So the Browns signed him, brought him into the fold, and they signed him. Then they said, you know what, we're going to sign him and worry about the suspension later. Because why? Because he has so much upside. He's only like 23, 24. He got another 6 years to play. He's not in his 30s or 31 where he's like at the end of his career, and it's like it's not worth it. The risk reward factor is there for him. Like we'll take the media hit. We don't care. Plus, it's the Browns. They're a bad team, so we'll take the hit. Like they're a bad team for generations. Like for decades, last 10, 25 years, they've been a bad organization ever since the early 90s. So what do they have to lose? Nothing. They don't have anything to lose right now. So let's bring them in and let's see what happens. With Colin Kaepernick, nobody bringing him in was going to say we're going to level ourselves up and become Super Bowl contenders. You know, and going back to how the NFL like to control the narrative. They're controlling the narrative with Jay-Z. They say, okay, we don't mind helping out the black community. We don't mind trying to help solve these issues, but we want to do it on our terms. We don't want you to do it on your terms. Your terms is kneeling and protesting on our field, their field. They don't want you to protest in that atmosphere, in that arena. Is it right to agree with that? I'm not here to say it's not my team. I don't think what Kaepernick did was that big of an issue, but other people, mostly white people, thought it was. I think the protest is perfectly fine. And then if more players protested it, then we would have had less of a feedback effect from it. I still don't think Kaepernick would have got signed because they would have looked at Kaepernick as the ringleader and would have been like, nah, we're going to punish you. We're not going to punish everybody else because everyone else is doing it now. But because you started this, we're going to punish you. But the NFL, they look at it like this, like, okay, we'll help out, but we want to do it on our terms. We want to do it in our arenas, like in our avenues, not on our field. It's kind of like this thing called egonomics. Like if you think about your boss, there's actually a book called about this, about egonomics. It's about how people try to flex their ego upon you. You know, so think about your boss and think about any situation you ever been in when you give him an opinion or a suggestion how to improve work and how to improve things better. And sometimes he says yes and sometimes he says no, you know, or it depends on how you tell your boss how you did it. You know, if you said, yo, we should do it this way because this is better, he will look at you like, nah, fuck out of here. Like, no, like, who are you? I'm the boss, you're the worker. And you go to your boss and be like, well, you know what? I did this. I did it your way, but then I also tried it this way. And I was just thinking maybe we can try to implement this. And the boss is going to be like, you know what? Let me think on that. Then they're going to come back and say, you know what? You're right. Or they're going to try and do it anyway a few months later and then say, you know what? Let's do it this way. Find a way. Sometimes they find a way to take your idea and make it their own, even though it was your idea to begin with, and then implement it and then say, oh, no, I thought about that. You know, so like I said, it's like an egonomics thing. Like sometimes bosses want to be bosses and be in control. They want to tell you what to do and be the one who makes the important decisions. Sometimes they will take your ideas, but sometimes you have those egotistical bosses who wants to just run everything and be in control. And that's how most of these owners are. A lot of these NFL owners, these billionaire owners, they all have similar mindsets. You know, they want to be in control, and they got to be NFL owners because they've been in control. That's what they've been doing. So, what else we want to talk about? So yeah, back to Jay-Z. Did he sell out? A little bit, but not really. Like That's a big. I think he got a big check. Put it like this: he got a big check. He don't need the money, but he want, like I said, he want the money. Um, but at the same time, you got guys like Meek who say you riding with Cat, but at the same time, he friends with Robert Kraft. Like a lot of times, you have situations and they overlap. Your relationships overlap. Like he's friends with Robert Kraft through the owner from the Sixers who helped him get out. You know, talking to Robert Kraft and letting Meek and having Robert Kraft find out about Meek's situation, how he was still on probation, open up open up things to Robert Kraft that he wasn't ever aware of. So, like I said, with Jay-Z being in the fold, those lines of communications, talking to other billionaires and telling them how things are done in other communities in the Black community, that's going to open some eyes up. And that's the most important thing, is that the lines of communication is now going to change. Like these billionaires probably all come from similar backgrounds. I'm pretty sure none of those NFL owners came from Jay-Z background. They never came from the streets. They never came from the projects. You know, they don't have friends who may be doing in jail or people they used to know that was on welfare. Like, you know, like that's my personal opinion. Most of those billionaires don't. They're not saying they didn't come from a struggle or they self-made, but their self-made is a little bit different than Jay-Z's self-made. So having somebody in there is going to open up some eyes and hopefully open up some more lines of communication. So just to knock Jay-Z right now, like a lot of people are doing, like Jamel Hill, Eric Reed, even Kaepernick posted something on Twitter yesterday that's kind of like, I can't believe he did this. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really say what the end result is right now. You have to sit back and wait. Like everybody wants an instant reaction. Instead of seeing what happens and then analyze, people want to analyze right away. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens as far as what programs the NFL does put in. See what happens as far as like halftime shows and stuff. That's not that big of a concern of mine. But my biggest concern is what's going to happen as far as like the programs they want to instill and how they're going to go about making change. So to be continued, I'm still around with Jay-Z. He's above cancel culture. So even if you don't like this move, it's Jay-Z. He's so far ahead of everyone else. It's kind of like he actually said it. He's about to pass himself twice. You know, he can do wrong and still can't do wrong. Like, what you gonna do? Not go to his shows? You know, he goes on tour every 2 or 3 years now. He does a show every once in a blue. His last show was B-Sides 2. So Jay-Z could do a venue show, 1,500 seats. If that's, let's say he did a $1,000 show at $1,000, he gonna sell out. That's $1 million in his pocket just doing one show. You could probably even charge more than that because his B-Sides 2, the aftermarket seats was going for like 1,500. So, like I said, he's above cancel culture. I'm not saying that Jay-Z is above criticism because he hears everything. He hears everything. You hear it in his songs. So you can criticize him, but he's not getting canceled anytime soon. So I just hope that his intentions and everything's in the right place, because if you look at the stuff that he's been doing the last 4 to 5 years with the Khalif Browder documentary and things like that, he's on the right path. You know, he has his Jay-Z Foundation that donates millions and millions of dollars a year. A lot of that stuff doesn't even get brought to light, which I think he probably likes, you know. So we'll see. Hopefully this union will work. It's a great move for the NFL PR wise, and it's a good move for Jay-Z business wise. And who knows, because he may want to buy an NFL team one day, you know. So if he wants to buy an NFL team one day, then this is the right move for him. He has to get rid of Roc Nation. So I don't think that's going to be viable to get rid of his own company to buy into an NFL team. So that's too many different hands and motions, because he had to sell his Brooklyn Nets shares when he started his Roc Nation sports management. So I'm not sure if that's where he's headed one day to buy a team, but if that's so, this is his foot in the door. And a lot of times you gotta get your foot in the door to get your seat at the table, you know. So anyway, that's it for the day. I'm still around with Hove. Hope he drop another album. So, Cat, I'm sorry, dude, but man, you got your pay. You got paid. You got your check, and I'm out.